Mongoose Jake here with another episode of Busby Classics, a favorite series of mine personally, taking a look at some of the blasters from Busby's past that you see here on the wall behind me, and kind of loosely going over what came about when the blaster was introduced, its history, and whether it has any relevance or not. Not necessarily the most important part, but just to check out what impact may it have had or what unique features it may have brought to the table. And the topic for today is the Busby Pirate Pistol, the Flintlock Blaster, the Pirate Blaster. All names were officially used. It was introduced first of all under the Rough Stuff line in 2007 by Busby, and it was called the Pirate Flintlock. That was the first name that this thing came about as in 2007. In 2008, it was actually renamed to the Pirate Blaster and moved to the Air Blasters line, where it hung out and eventually found its way, into your local Cracker Barrel, as it's most commonly known to have been frequently found. And at the time, it was retailed at about $9.99, and you could still even find them. I actually have a brand new one I picked up this year for $9.99 at my local Cracker Barrel, and while these aren't the highest performance, the ones that you find in Cracker Barrel are still the old vintage, firing the purple tipped yellow foam Busby specific darts where you load it in. But while it doesn't provide high performance with these suction darts, it did have the iconic priming mechanism where you actually pulled the flintlock back and then fired away. This actually makes it one of the very first hammer primed blasters on the market. In 2007, there wasn't a whole lot of hammer prime, and I'm going to have to validate that in some way, shape, or form, but this is definitely one of, if not the earliest. In circa 2007, this was on the market. So, one of the earliest hammer prime for sure. Now, it is just a single shot front loader with a neat appearance. Like I said, it did go from being the Pirate Flintlock to the Pirate Blaster to the Pirate Pistol, was a name lesser used. It was mostly known as the Pirate Flintlock or the Pirate Blaster. And from 2008 and on, it still remained on Busby's website up to 2012, and then just kind of filtered out of the internet realm, but it was still being sold, just in that exact same package. It did even have a special edition for the Pirates of the Caribbean films, where you got two of these in a Pirates of the Caribbean packaging, and I don't have one, but I would love to get my hands on one of those. Now, as far as practicality, there's very little. The performance that you're hearing there, it's pretty telltale. You can see that in here on camera that it doesn't have a whole lot of punch to it, but it fires in the middle to upper 40s, and it comes down to the fact that if you haven't seen my mod guide, which I did actually do a full-on mod guide for these, because you can get respectable performance, if not astounding, but you can get pretty respectable performance for what you have to work with. But this is actually drawing back the plunger rod, and it has a beefy little spring in there, but there's just not a lot to work with plunger tube volume wise, and it has to channel air into a very minuscule barrel. And in stock form, the barrel's not very good, and it has a pretty chunky dart post, and that's what you have to eliminate. With my modded one pulling off right behind me, my mod guide did feature a brass barrel, and you just flare this a little bit, clear out the airway, and you'll get reasonable performance and the ability to run, your modern half-length darts. It does that very effectively, and then you can get, a reliable, usable sidearm. So, if you want to go all in and just load up a bunch of them, say 6 of them, and then just have at it, you certainly can. It can certainly at least have a fun roll, if not a high performance one. But if you're looking for a flintlock, I don't think you're going for performance. You're going for the aesthetic. And it scores absolute high marks for that. You know, even in complete unpainted stock straight out of the package form, this thing looks the part. And it works the part, because with the flintlock having to front load, just need a ramrod now, but then just aim and fire. That's what you expect out of this. You don't necessarily expect 90 feet per second, and you're not going to get it. But for something that first introduced itself in 2007 with a functional hammer prime in a nice, pretty compact form, and coming in at only $10, it's hard to argue with this. And now I was notified of a new version that actually Bots and Blasters found, and some people in my Discord had alerted me to it, and I really want to get my hands on one. It came back with the modern darts, and unfortunately not in the color scheme that we see here. It came back in the new, more updated 2022 color scheme, where it's got blue and green in it, which is Busby's current color scheme. But to me, the color scheme loses a little bit of the hallmark, genuine look of this, because I actually like that. It's the brown, of course, resembles wood, and then it has what looks like metal aesthetics, which they're just, you know, plastic of different colors, but it works. So the Pirate Flintlock, the Pirate Pistol, the Pirate Blaster, again, Busby officially did use all three names. Pirate Flintlock was the first one in 2007, changed to the Pirate Blaster in 2008, and was also interchangeably called the Pirate Pistol on their own website, 2008 through 2012. You could find both names on Busby's own website. So, call it any of the three, it's still the same pistol, still the same little blaster, still firing the same yellow foam, purple tip suction darts all the way back from the early dawnings of Busby time, and making no claims to performance, but doing it while looking cool. That's what this is all about. A neat little function and a cool aesthetic. And I think it meets that. All for $10, and you can still find them at Cracker Barrels here and there. We need more blasters like this. We really do. Just neat, actual functioning pieces of art, kind of, at cheap prices. That's the key thing. But Manga Shake with a look back at a really neat little blaster that you can still find for $10. It's the Busby Pirate Flintlock, also known as the Pirate Blaster, also known as the Pirate Pistol. All three different ways. Hope you enjoyed this little episode of Busby Classics, and hope you stay tuned for the next one. So, till then, Manga Shake saying, have fun blasting.